Good to see Tier 2 and Tier 3 are operating well. See if we can't find Tier 1. Hopefully it will be here somewhere. Yes, there it is though. So, just want to double check that the audio is working. Yes, there it is. Good, the audio is working. That's very, very good. So, the stream's up, the chat is up, everything is running as it should be. Fantastic. So, hello and welcome everyone to Season 5 and the first round of the Go Workplace Training PlayStation Pacific Series here on Race Spec Esports. This is Tier 1, the top split of the Pacific region. Some of the best Race Spec has to offer, fighting for the title of Pacific's best. Competing over 15 rounds at 15 different circuits, the first of which at the legendary Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, the home of the British Grand Prix. It's rather fitting in a way, as Silverstone is the home of the first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix back in the 13th of May 1950. It's changed a lot since then. From a RAF airfield used during the Second World War, it has become one of the most well recognized and prestigious racing facilities in the world. In terms of the circuit's technical difficulty, it's quite a tough track to set up for, as it has a combination of both high-speed bends and long straights. So with high-speed corners, you want a high downforce setup in order to maximize corner speed. But with the long straights, you want a low drag, low downforce setup in order to maximize top speed. So it's going to be tough for the drivers on track today to find that balance between raw straight line speed and cornering speed. In terms of overtaking spots around this magnificent 5.89 kilometer or 3.65 mile 18 turn racetrack, there are two major overtaking spots. One at turn 6 at Brooklands, the other at turn 15 at Stowe, as they come immediately after DRS zones. There are also some potential overtaking opportunities at turn 3 at Village, and also at the Vale Chicane, that is turns 16 and 17. That comes just after pit entry. Actually, speaking of pit entry, that's another notable thing to talk about. It's a very tricky pit entry, as it's only 60 kilometers an hour. Over my time as a commentator, I've seen many people speed into the pit lane during the race and cop a 5-second penalty. But yes, all in all, it's a very tricky track for the drivers out there today who are currently doing qualifying laps. Now, I have to say, from Season 4 to Season 5, there are some familiar names in here. Names such as G-Force Swaggy and Wogboy Spilly in the Aston Martin. He was formerly in the Racing Point last season. Mr. Mount, one of the few G-Force drivers, well, non-G-Force drivers, I should say, at the front of the field. Very, very quick racer. I'm looking the Aston Martin. G-Force Crichton, the defending champion. He's definitely the one to watch, especially in qualifying. He's quite a maestro at it. And of course, one name that I've heard so much of from the community is Oz Formula in this Ferrari. Coming over from Xbox to PlayStation, I've heard this guy is quite quick. So best to keep an eye out for him. He's quite easy to spot, seeing as he's driving the bright red machine. But also some new names as well. Bags Liddell is a name that I haven't seen before, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he fares over the course of this race. And a name that I do know, but I'm quite surprised he's here, and he's a bit surprised he's here, in fairness, is Blocky Rex. He's been in tiers 2 and 3 over the past couple of seasons. He's now in tier 1. As Volk sets the first benchmark time of a 26 flat. We'll see what everyone else does in response. Macedonian. Scotty I've raced against back in Tier 3. I know he's quite a good racing driver. Very consistent, doesn't make too many mistakes. Often gets the strategy right as well. But in response to Voltz's 26 flat, Mr. Mount has jumped to the top with a 25.6. Leo in second place, returning from Season 4, doing a 25.7. One Slick Mofo in the other Haas, doing a 26.7 as well, only 300ths off Leo. So it's good to see the two Haas drivers towards the front of the field. See what everyone else is up to. Wogboy in the Ferrari, always quick, very consistent, very talented driver. Sporting a Devon Butler helmet as well. Isaac Kush jumping to the top with a 25.3. Spilly in P2 with GeForce Ford now in P3. As we have our first retirement already. That is Macedonian out of qualifying. See if we can't find an ideal view. We'll go back to Wogboy. He's coming up to the accident now. Here at Cops Corner, a very notorious corner. And you can see there Macedonian well on the grass there. Obviously losing control through the fast right-hander and ending up in the barrier. It's actually been the scene of some real-life controversy. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about there. Wogboy's coming to the end of his lap. See where the Ferrari driver puts himself. Bit of a noise glitch there. Actually, he's backed off. He's actually going to set a flying lap now, I believe. He's got a full battery ready to go. That revving glitch is horrible, dear me. Heading down the Hamilton Straight towards Abbey, turn 1, this fast right-hander through turn 2, then into Village, turn 3, a tricky hairpin, potential overtaking opportunity, through the loop, turn 4, a critical corner, as it dictates a run through turn 5, which is Aintree, which also dictates the straight line speed down the Wellington Straight. Heading towards Brooklands now, turn 6, chucks it in there, down to 4th gear, now through Luffield, coming up to the old pit straight now. Uses all the curb and then some. Through Woodcote. Now on the old pit straight and towards Cops Corner. In fact, he went so far wide he invalidated. Well, there you go. Game giving him a warning. We're right on board with him still. The most famous part of the racetrack, Maggots and Beckett's, a very tricky high-speed S section. Incredibly easy to make a mistake. Through Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight. He'll move over to the left-hand side for Stowe. Slam on the brakes just after the 50 board. He ran onto the grass there on entry, which compromised his line throughout the corner. He's going to come through the Vale chicane. Place where Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen had their incident. Through Club, back onto the Hamilton Straight. There was a 26.2 from Wogboy. That would have put him P14. I believe. Ned in the Alpine. Quite the aggressive driver, very determined. If he's given an opportunity to win, he'll do anything to try and achieve it. Apparently purple to the second sector. See what his time's like at the end of the lap. Coming up to a Mercedes-Benz that has to be Volts. As Crichton is in the pit lane. Through Vale. Heading towards Club, round Club, up to the line. Does a 25.6, goes P6 overall. So, very competitive at the moment. From the back of the field with that time. He's got a lot of work to do. It's not an easy overtaking race circuit, Silverstone, either. Like, you got the major overtaking opportunities at Brooklands, at Stowe, but even then it's difficult to pass. And typically, during the races as well, we tend to have these DRS trains form. These packs of cars that constantly have DRS. That's just Scotty getting out of the way. All sideways, losing it. Can he keep it out of the barrier? No, but he's still in qualifying. He's got a completely destroyed front wing. Can he move? Oh, there we go. You got the old pit lane entry you can use. Oh, hang on, no, there's something. Okay, now he's moving. Gets into first gear, second gear. Then he gets the car moving in the right direction. That's unfortunate, but luckily he is still in the session. That actually might give us an idea of what happened to Macedonian but a few moments ago. Bags Liddell in the Williams coming towards Cop's corner. Really difficult to get it right. Sort of have to turn in at the 50 board. You can keep it flat, as Bags demonstrated very nicely. It's a lot more difficult to take when you have a car in front of you. Very nicely through Maggots and Beckett's. Abusing the track limits at Chapel though, and it's cost him. Oop, wrong button. He's invalidated. He'll probably duck back into the pits. Izzat has done a bit of rallycross there at the exit of turn 2. So Izzat will just do a quick reset, then we get going once again. Apparently purple to the first sector, Spilly, but he's invalidated at the exit of Luffield. What about his teammate, GeForce Ford? I have to say, I do love the look of the Aston Martin. The British racing green is absolutely gorgeous. Down the Wellington Straight. We'll have a look at Sector 1. What does the time say? Up by 37 thousandths. It's not much of an improvement, but it's an improvement. Exiting Luffield. Heading towards Woodcote, and then on to the old pit straight. To think Cop's Corner used to be turn 1. I mean, could you imagine the drama in an online lobby if that was turn 1? My goodness. And then turns 2 and 3, Maggots and Beckett's. Be so much carnage through there. Oh, 40 catches it. Oh, he dipped the wheel onto the grass, lost control, managed to gather it back up. Good bit of car control. And he's going to reset as well. Have another crack later on. Crichton. Arguably the man to beat. Absolutely flat out through Cop's Corner. See how he takes Maggots and Beckett's here. Flat out. The first 2 corners. Down to 7th gear. Down to 6th gear. Doesn't abuse the track limits on the left-hand side. I've noticed in some races here at Silverstone, the grass on the inside of turn 14, it's a bit grippy for grass at the very least, so you can actually abuse the track limits there. Through Vale. Rears locking up there. You could hear the tyre squeal. Through Club. Up to the line. He does improve. Only by 18 thousandths of a second. Swaggy currently P3. Might be on a flying lap here. This will tell us. He's only down by 23 thousandths. Wogboy getting out of the way. He doesn't want to give his rival a tow. Very nicely through Stowe. 3 corners left. At the Vale chicane, 3rd gear. Hits the first apex. Gets the 2nd apex. Around Club. Crossing the line. Goes to pole position. Found a lot of time in that final sector. He's ahead of Crichton by, what's that, 18 thousandths of a second. It's very fine at the moment at the top of the table, which is fantastic to see. Oz Formula up into P5 with a 25.5. Very solid showing. James in the Alfa Romeo, currently P6. On an in-lap, I believe. Mr. Mount. Invalidated, so he's not on a flying lap. One Slick Mofo. Not on a flying lap. He's 6 seconds down on his time. Purple, apparently, to the first sector is Spicy in the McLaren. Heading towards Cops at 300 kilometers an hour. You could only imagine the G-forces the driver has to put up with through that corner. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Flat out. Down to 7th. Down to 6th. Very similar technique to Crichton. Oh, but dearie me, that wasn't the same to Crichton at all. Completely cutting turn 14 there. I'm going to hazard a guess he's going to go back into the pits. Does have to be careful though. He only got 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. What about you, Bags? Are you on a flying lap? Up by 3/10 in the first sector. So I believe he is on a flying lap. But have a go at the gaps, will you? It is so close. Look at that. From P1 to P18, it's 1.1 seconds. And I reckon Bags is going to improve here by quite a bit. See, through Vale. Nice and gentle. Missed the apex there. At the second last turn, a lot of oversteer at the exit. A bit of a messy final sector. But he knows if he gets that sector right, he can improve quite a bit. But he's running out of time. So we better pay attention at the guys towards the front of the field. The first of which is Spilly. Currently P4 with a 25.4. He needs to improve by 0.2 of a second in order to try and take pole position away from G4 Swaggy. It's a tall order. See if the Aston Martin driver is up for the challenge. Just behind him on track at least is Izzat Kush. Currently sitting P3. I believe that's Izzat anyway. It is Izzat. Alright, Spilly, take it away. See what you're capable of. Through Club and onto the Hamilton Straight. First challenge is Abbey. Chucks it in, keeps it pinned. Through turn 2, there's a car getting out of the way. Very good there. I think that's Crichton. Through Village. Then the loop, turn 4, third gear. Uses all of third there at the exit of turn 4. Through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. There's a bit of traffic in front, but hopefully they'll get out of the way. Through Brooklands, fourth gear. Takes a narrow line into Luffield. Keeps it in fourth, apexes it late to get a straight entry, straight exit rather. Through Woodcote, now Cops Corner. There's a McLaren in front. Hopefully Spicy will get out of the way, he does. Now Maggots, Beckett's. Through Chapel now, sixth gear. Oh, and how about this? What teamwork between the Aston Martin duo. Ford giving Spilly a massive tow down the Hangar Straight. Through Stowe. Now 3 corners left. What will the timer say? How much of an improvement is this? Round the final corner, up to the line. It's pole position for now at 24.9. The first car into the 24s. What about Izzat? Up to the strike. Goes second quickest with a 25 flat. Who's left? Crichton's on a flying lap. Blockie's out of the session, crashing out at Cops Corner. Best he can hope for is 17th. Through Village. And then the loop. Bags is out of the session as well. Best he can hope for is 18th. It's down to Wogboy to see how much he can improve by. Crichton in the first sector. Down by 1/10.25. What about Swaggy? He's coming up to the first sector split. Up by 0.06 in the first sector. What about Oz Formula? Where are you? You're in the second sector. You can see the mess it is. Like, there's so many cars on track right now. Very difficult to keep track of all of them. Ned has bailed out of his lap. James. Continuing on. He's coming through Vale. Rounding the final corner. I don't think he'll be improving. No, missing out by 0.009 of a second. Crichton up by almost 1/10. He needs to find more though. Through Stowe. Will this be pole position for Spilly? Through the Vale chicane for the final time in qualifying for Crichton. Rounding club. Up to the line. It's not enough. It's P3. What about Swaggy? His session is done. Oz Formula has jumped up to 5th place. Anybody else? Missed him out maybe. Up by half a second. He's coming up to the finish line. It's a 25 flat. What a last minute performance that was. From Mr. Mount up to P3. And that, I believe, is the end of qualifying. It's Spilly on pole position. I have to say, coming into this race, I wasn't expecting that, but there you go. That toe down the hanger straight from G-Force Ford, his teammate, would have proved critical in that. Well, great teamwork, and as a result, it's an Aston Martin on pole for the British Grand Prix. Seems only fitting, doesn't it? Isaac Cush in P2, Mr. Mount 3rd, Crichton in 4th place. Swaggy in 5th, Oz Formula in 6th, Volts in P7, Logboy in 8th, Ned in 9th, and James rounding out the top 10 in the Alfa Romeo. All of these guys qualifying on the soft compound tyre as well. So there we go. Fairly nice session indeed at Silverstone. Hopefully the race will be as entertaining. But there we go. 82 thousandths separating the top two. Very, very fine. And from first all the way down to P16, all of them are within a second of pole. That's how close it is. Very, very close. And even the guys outside of that 1 second range aren't that far outside of that 1 second range. So the competitiveness is there in this field, which is fantastic to see. But we'll go through the grid order once we get onto the formation lap. That way we can see as well what the drivers outside the top 10 decide to do in terms of strategy. I'm pretty sure around here it's a soft to medium or medium to soft race. If you want to make up positions early on, you'd hop on the soft tyre. If you want to have a nice long stint and go balls to the wall right at the end of the race, you do a medium soft. But of course you have the safety car you have to deal with, and also the new damage model in F1 2021, where not only the front wing can be damaged but also the rear wing and the floor, the barge boards as well, all of which can play some sort of effect in how this race pans out for the drivers on track. And also the safety car rate, it comes out quite a bit, has to be said, in this game. Quite a bit more than F1 2020 at the very least. Rightio, drivers will be loading onto the grid. There we are, and they'll set off on the formation lap. Hopefully. There we are. They're setting off now. So, let's have a look. Fairly interesting story. No one on the hard tyre, which is kind of expected, but it's Spilly on pole. Izat will start alongside in P2. Mr. Mount in P3, with GeForce Crichton, the defending champion, starting P4. Swaggy in 5th. He'll start alongside Oz Formula in P6. Volts in 7th, Wogboy in 8th, Ned in 9th, and James rounding out the top 10 there, starting on scrubbed soft compound tyres. Outside of the top 10, first of which is GeForce Ford starting on the mediums. You'll have Spicy alongside on the softs. Plebs in P13 on the medium tyre, Leo P14 on the softs. One Slick Mofo in 15th place, then it's Jamie in Scotty and Blocky, P17 and 18, starting on the soft compound tyre. Then Bags, Liddell and Macedonian, after crashing out at the beginning of qualifying, will start at the back of the field. Both drivers on the medium compound. So 6 cars on the mediums, 14 on the softs, 10 of which are fairly worn from qualifying. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. Pit window lap 11 through 13. So expect the soft runners to be coming in at about lap 10 or so, in and around lap 10. Maybe 1 or 2 laps earlier, maybe 1 or 2 laps after. We'll have to wait and see. But there's two things very, very important about this race: track position and DRS. As I mentioned earlier, DRS trains form for this race, and if you are out of a DRS train, you are screwed, more or less. You need to be within a DRS train if you have any chance of winning. Either that, or you just pray a safety car comes about. Hopefully all 20 drivers make it to the end of the race as well. Hopefully we won't have any casualties. And hopefully we'll have an entertaining race to start off what will hopefully be a very competitive and very fun season of racing here on Race Spec Esports. Drivers now lining up on the grid in their respective grid slots. Should be waiting on Macedonian to line up into his. So we have 26 laps in front of us here tonight. 20 drivers on the grid, ready to race here at Silverstone. Here we go. Season shall begin with 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. That was exceptionally quick there. Isaac Kush gets an amazing launch down the inside at turn 1. He fights Spilly. They're side by side, but Spilly comes out in front, only just so. Round the outside at turn 3. He'll have the inside line for turn 4, Isaac Kush. He gets the lead. Crichton and Mr. Mount side by side there. They sort themselves out. Crichton hasn't made up any position. Very wide, a car in the background. That is one slick mofo. Very, very wide there, but he hasn't gotten himself into any sort of trouble. Through Luffield come the leaders. Everyone oh, and spinning! Isol's Formula! He's made contact with someone. He's gathered it back up though, and he's still running, but he's dropped to 13th. Spicy and Leo side by side heading towards Cop's Corner. This isn't going to go well. Oh, they sort themselves out, but only just. Leo in front in P11. Everyone being aggressive, trying to make up positions early. Unfortunately, no retirements as of yet. But what a launch from Izzat. A great conversion off the line. He has a half-second lead over Spilly. Bit of drama going on back here. People still wobbling for position. Ford into the pits already. So he must have some sort of wing damage. Keep tabs on him in just a moment. Oh, good. Lap glitch. That's good to see. But it is that leading the way. Spilling in second. Crichton in third. Swaggy in 4th place. He's got Mr. Mount right on his gearbox. There's a ghosting Volts there. Oh, and a bit of a moment there for Swaggy. Mr. Mount and Swaggy alongside. Wow, we almost pushed off the circuit there, but Mr. Mount is through. What I believe is 4th place, but Swaggy not giving up. Not a man who gives up. He gets the cut back. They make contact. And Kush is out. Excuse me, what has happened? What's happened to our race leader? There he is, dead on the back, inside of Luffield. That has caught me completely off guard. How has he done that? My goodness. The race leader out, and only a virtual safety car. Typically with these things, you get a full-on safety car. Will we see Izzat's car? That's massive. A great start. Balls down to nothing. Incredibly unfortunate. My goodness. We're back under green flag racing here at Silverstone. Spilly now almost has a 2-second lead over Crichton. Still has Mr. Mount right behind, challenging for position. Who's that? Macedonian's had a moment. He's dropped to the back of the field. Someone's gone wide there. That was Volts in the Mercedes, running very wide through turn 2 towards Village. Or someone diving down the inside there. That must have been James in the Alfa Romeo. Through Aintree now. Have absolutely no idea where to look with this sort of racing. Everyone's so close. Don't know where the drama is going to take place. See Swaggy and Mr. Mount very, very close. Unfortunately for Swaggy, he won't be able to do anything. Not through this high-speed second sector. Going through Cop's corner. You can see the understeer, the dirty air. Really does affect the car. James is too far behind to try and capitalise. See there, Swaggy applying a lot of pressure to the heart of Mr. Mount. Using overtake and DRS, but it's not enough. Mr. Mount keeps third for the moment, but he's missed the apex at Stowe. Opening up a window of opportunity for Swaggy down the inside at Vale. They're side by side. Contact! More contact! Spinning out! Both of them! My goodness! And Spicy is out of the session. Look at that! His car. Ooh, Oz Formula. A 5-second penalty for a severe collision, and a safety car has been deployed. My goodness. So, Swaggy and Mr. Mount had their own little accident. Did Spicy get involved with it, or did Spicy and Oz Formula have their own little accident? I'm not sure. But a lot of drama here at the start of this British Grand Prix. Oh my goodness. It's only pure luck that I managed to catch that. I have no idea where to look when the field is bunched up like this. Blocky is up into 8th place. He's made up 10 places off the start by just keeping out of trouble. Jamie's done a good job as well, up 7. Pleb's up 6 positions. See there with Swaggy and Mr. Mount having their accident. They've lost 10 and 14 places respectively. This is saved 40's race too. It was well behind the pack. Fortunately, the field will bunch up with this safety car. What do they do? Some of these guys are on worn rubber. Will they pit? And if they do, what do they go on to? Spilly coming in. Same with Crichton. Volt's coming in. So Mercedes will double stack. Wogboy in. Ned in. Oz Formula definitely in. I think he might have damage. Wogboy, oh dear. A 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I made mention of that in qualifying. Very easy to do. But it seems everybody's coming in. Except for one. Blocky Rex. Well, there you go, Blocky. You're leading top split. Well done. Someone else stays out as well. Macedonian on the medium tyre. Svilly on the mediums. Crichton on new mediums. Plevs on hards. Wogboy on mediums. New front wing for Leo. Away he goes out of the pit lane. Bags waiting for his teammate. Set of hard tyres ready for him. As Formula, he would have served that 5-second penalty as well. No, he hasn't. So you can't serve it under safety car. I suppose it's fair enough. So Oz Formula still has that 5-second penalty next to his name. Jamie, bed left field, going on to a new set of softs, so he's definitely 2-stopping. Pretty much everybody on fresh rubber. Leaders caught up to the safety car. We'll just be waiting on everyone else to bunch back up. But what an incident between Swaggy and Mr. Mount. Two coming together like that. They had contact just after turn 16. Then they came apart. Then they sort of came back together again, didn't they? At the second part of Vale. And then something's happened to Spicy and Oz Formula, and the resulting contact means that Spicy's out of the session. He's out of the race. Lots of drama very early on as well. Only 5 laps into a 26 lap race. My goodness. And it'll be interesting to see as well what Blocky and Macedonian do here. Seeing as they're on old rubber, they will need to make another pit stop at some stage. One wonders whether or not they're able to hold position as well on that old tyre. Let's see here, I think... Yeah, okay, so Wogboy has the 5 seconds for speeding. Oz Formula got the 5 seconds for the collision. Swaggy's got 3 seconds through accumulating warnings. Those are the only penalties so far. And I don't like looking at the warnings because I sort of give a bit of bad luck to people if I start looking at warnings. So I'll leave that alone. But a lot of people choosing the medium tyre. Now, right at the beginning of the race, the pit window was about lap 10 or so for the worn soft runners and lap 11 for the fresh soft runners. So we're a few laps short of that window, but we're not too far away from it. So I reckon those medium runners will make it. Probably make it quite easy. Those hard runners though might have a tough time, because in this game the hard tyre is a bit garbage. So it'll be a tough race for the likes of Plevs, One Slick Mofo and James. Rightio. Everyone lining up, ready to get back under green flag racing. It's all down to Blockster in determining when to go back under green flag racing. He's taking his time, which he's allowed to do. Has Spilly disconnected? Oh no, he's still there. There he is. And Blocky still waiting. And there he goes. So we begin lap 7 of 26 here at Silverstone. Blocky Rex is our leader. Macedonian in second, Spilly in third place, but on fresh tyres. Heading towards Village. He has Crichton in behind in fourth place. Plebs in P5, but on hard tyres. Missed him out, already making up positions. Jamie has made up one as well. In fact, no. Jamie and James are actually battling for position. Hang on. Let's have a looky. James sitting in the slipstream. Can he overtake Jamie here? No, he can't. Not close enough and doesn't have the momentum on his side. But it seems on this restart everybody is behaving themselves, which is good. No silly moves from what I can see. Out in front though, Spelly is ready to make his move. Through Maggots and Beckets. Crichton is right there, right on his gearbox. Crichton might be able to get a 2 for 1 here if he's lucky enough. Spelly sitting in the slipstream, probably using overtake as well. Pulls to the inside to make the move of Macedonian, who doesn't fight. Spilly into second place. Crichton, will he have a go here at the chicane? He goes deep on the brakes. He's alongside. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there, but nothing major. Good racing between these two. Blockster, he gets a 3-second time penalty on the Hamilton straight towards turn 1. Crichton can't make a pass here, too dangerous, but he can. Oh, it's spinning! There goes Blocky into the gravel on the outside of turn 1. Crichton with the inside line squeezes Macedonian. They're still side by side. Oh, as Crichton makes a mistake and he makes contact with the AlphaTauri, and here comes Plevs on the attack, sitting in the slipstream. Not using any overtake though. This is unleashed Spilly. You can see the interval increase. Now almost 2 seconds between P1 and P2. Look at that gap. And here comes Crichton down the inside. Fairly straightforward move there. Crichton into second. This will be an interesting tussle between Macedonian and Plevs. Maggots and Beckets into Chapel. Dirty Air won't be helping Plevs. Won't be helping Macedonian either. Using overtake. Trying to get rid of the slipstream. Try and get rid of the toe. Plebs, does he look to the inside here? No. Oh, he thought about it. He definitely thought about it. There was a small gap there on the inside that he could have went into, but he thought better of it. And we begin lap 9. DRS is enabled. This is where the fun begins. Look at that train. A train of cars. This is typical Silverstone. Down the inside into turn 3. Macedonian fights. He'll have the inside line for 4. No contact this time round. Through turn 5. Onto the Wellington straight, and through goes Plebs. Wogboy will try and follow suit here. He's alongside. A bit wide. And Macedonian, great bit of driving there to get in front of Wogboy before turn 7. Otherwise Wogboy would have had the inside line and he would have made the move stick. And they're just in behind as well, ready to pounce. Through Cop's corner, down to 7th gear. Try and not run wide. Oz Formula making moves. He's into P8. Still got to recover from that 5-second penalty he's got next to his name. Oh, a bit sideways there, Wogboy, but he keeps it straight. Darting left and right to try and break the toe. Oh, almost going onto the grass there. Plebs and Macedonian. Something's happened to Mr. Mount. He's out of the race. That's what's happened. Where is he? Where is he? He's gone straight. Safety car. He's gone straight on that Stowe. I was looking to the infield because I thought he might have spun out at the exit of Stowe, but he hasn't. He's crashed at the entry. See, he's barely made the corner according to the minimap. How have you done that? Maybe he was punted from behind. Maybe he had a technical failure and went straight on. I don't know, but he's out. That's for sure. Set of mediums going on Blocky's car. Scotty doing the same. Do expect that. They can go to the end quite easily. So another reset. Our second safety car, and we're not even at the halfway mark. And with 3 retirements down. 3 big names as well. Is that Spicy and Mr. Mount? Oh dear, what's happening here? Don't overtake on the safety car, you ding-dongs. Otherwise the game really doesn't like it. Now, none of these guys, I think, will pit. Except for someone maybe at the back of the field. Someone like Bags, for example. He's on hard tyres. He might be better off on fresh mediums. Swaggy might be another one as well. 40 might be another. But these front runners, none of them will pit. Jamie might, because he can get medium tyres to the end from here. And he's better off doing it now than doing it later. Because everyone in front of him is not going to stop again. Unless there's a late race safety car. That way you can bolt on the soft tyre and go to the end. Right, yeah, none of these guys will be pit. Oh, of course, Macedonian. Oh, actually, a few more are coming in. Wogboy coming in. Volt's coming. Oh, a few of these guys are coming in. Wow. I really didn't expect this many. Did not expect this many at all. Volts has retired from the session. Has he done that in the pit lane? Yeah, he has. That's his car there. Volts has had enough. New soft tyres for Jamie. Okay. Yeah, all of these guys pitting onto medium tyres. Macedonian onto hards. He started on the mediums, didn't he? He did. So he's forced onto the hard tyre. Jamie, though, that's an interesting one. Would have definitely bolted on a fresh set of mediums if I had some. Could definitely make it from here. But a lot more people pitting than I thought. And the people I suggested didn't pit at all. Ford, Swaggy, they didn't pit. They stay out and they claim all the track position in front of them. That's very interesting. And that's promoted Scotty and Blocky into the top 10. They were in no man's land. They're now in the top 10. And we're at a point now where almost everybody will score points so long as they finish. As in Race Spec, the top 15 score points. Got 16 cars left. And even this 16th place car can claim fastest lap, so long as they finish. Rightio. Not even at the halfway mark. Alrighty. Spelly takes control of the field. See everyone warming up their tyres, doing the opposite of Kimi Raikkonen. Except for one slick mofo, I saw that Haas. It was barely moving. Trying to get as much temperature into the tyres as they can. Nothing's worse than driving on cold rubber. And there goes Spilly. He's bolted. But he's made a mess of Vale. A small mess. Oh, but a good exit though. Great exit. And Blocky, a 3-second time penalty. Dearie me. We're back on the green flag racing. Half a second separate the top two. Plebs in P3 on old hard tyres. Ned right behind in 4th place. Oz Formula in 5th. Still with a penalty next to their name. Leo in P6. Macedonia making moves. No, it's Jamie spinning out. He gets it going again. And he's now on fairly ruined soft tyres. They won't feel great. Spelly trying to pull away. Crichton doing his best to keep up with the Aston Martin. Gap is 6/10. Plebs losing ground as you expect, as he's on the hard tyre. Running wide is Ned. Less than half a second behind the McLaren. He's bound to lose a little bit of time through the S's with all the dirty air. So the gap is slightly opened up, not by a lot, but only by a little bit. Oz Formula. See what these fellas get up to, shall we? Using the curb to get that little bit of extra rotation. Keeping up with the Alpine. There's Leo. There's GeForce Ford right behind too. And it's a bit of a gap between Swaggy and Scotty already. 1.5 seconds. Onto the Hamilton straight. Through turn 1. Pulling away from Leo. These guys just aren't quite able to make a move on Plebs just yet. Mofo and Macedonian squabbling. Macedonian the inside line, can't hang it there. Mofo into P11. See this train of cars. Down the inside, Macedonian looks. Probably defending from James. There's a run round the outside, can't get it done there. Wild Boy in a nice position too. To try and attack. Though 14th place isn't exactly where he wants to be right now. Front of the field though. Clev's still hanging on. Though I feel as soon as DRS is enabled, he might be a sitting duck. Not gonna lie. Ford applying a lot of pressure here to Leo. Outbreaks him, but fortunately doesn't hit the Williams. There we go, DRS is now enabled. Lap 14 of 26. We've just ticked over the halfway mark. Through the S's. Into the hairpin of Village. Ned has lost a little bit of ground to Plebs. This Formula can't quite get the exit out of the loop. Is he close enough to attack here? He's closing in. Not by enough, I'm afraid. Through Luffield. Leo now applying pressure. And Swaggy is caught onto the back of this too. There he is, the Alfa Romeo at the end of the train. There's Scotty in the background, trying to hang on to P9. He's going to be under a lot of pressure. How can Crichton get Spilly here with the power of DRS? He's not going to be using any overtake. You can see there is no green bar on the steering wheel. Oh, Ned gets close. Not close enough. Oz Formula is even closer. Through the chicane. Onto the pit straight. Swaggy sets fastest lap. That's how quick he's going right now. He's on fire. Towards the hairpin. Not quite close enough. 40 looks really racy. In fact, he's alongside. Round turn 4. He tries to get the power down, but Leo keeps it there on the inside for turn 5. They're side by side. Both have DRS as well. It's a drag race towards Brooklands. Who comes out on top? Ford. He goes into P6. Leo just following suit now. P7. What about guys behind? What are these fellas up to? There's Scott in P9. One Slick Mofo in P10. He has Blocky Rex in P11. A couple of groups forming back here. Go back to this, shall we? This big group of cars. All battling for position. Round the outside here at Stowe. Can't get it done. Someone's had a moment. That's Wogboy. He's gone off the road at Chapel. Plebs defends hard, but comes back onto the racing line. And there's everybody else behind. The entire field. Dearie me. A lot going on here. Or Ford, can he look? Formula defends, round the outside. Poor camera shot, Codemasters. They're still side by side, rounding turn 4. No contact. Oh, contact there though! And spinning out is the Ferrari. He's going to look. Oh, and he tries. No, don't do that. Even with ghosting turned on, you really shouldn't do that. Oh, that could have been really nasty. But Oz Formula now down in 13th place. It might be even worse. Here comes Macedonia around the outside. He looks. Oh, the Ferrari has to be careful. His tyres won't be in the best of shape. Oz Formula stays in P13. But he and 40 coming together at turn 4. Oz Formula getting the short end of the stick, unfortunately. But Swaggy got through that too. He's into P6. Leo has broken away a little bit, and something has happened to Blocky. Let's see here. There he is there. He's spun out through the S's. Does a bit of rallycross and he gets going again. Very good. Jamie and Macedonian battling for 13th place. Contact and spinning! Macedonian! He goes to the infield. Flicks the card the right way and he gets going again. Deary me. Everybody just wants to have an accident at the moment. Well, what a good job from Mr. Race Spec. Man in charge of this whole league. Maintaining 3rd place even on those hard tyres. Demonstrating, I suppose, that they're not completely worthless. Oh, and Crichton's got by Spilly. I failed to notice that, so we have a new leader, but Spilly is keeping up. Gap is less than 3/10. Now it's 2/10. Crichton's made a bit of a mistake at Cops. Lost a little bit of time through the S's. Through Chapel, he has DRS, using his ERS as well. Oh, this should be an easy move. Down the inside. Should get it done before the braking zone, and does. And that is Bags, I believe. Bags Liddell making a mistake and spinning out. I swear I saw someone else just do the same thing. Anyway. That's not good for Bags. He's under attack here from Macedonian. Gets it done into P15. Ford penalty, 3 seconds next to his name. Very close between those two. Dear me. Spilly's pulled out half a second over Crichton, who's still hanging on. Gap is 2/10 between the top two. It's opened up a little bit, closes a little bit. Plev's still hanging on, doing a great job. And got everyone behind following suit. Swaggy trying to attack here. Awkward run through Cops, which you expect with all the dirty air. Through Maggots and Beckett's. Leo missing his apexes a little bit. Swaggy using all of the road and then some. Here comes Ned. Round the outside here at Stowe. They're side by side. Gets the switchback. Can't get it done though. Plevs hangs on to third place. Through Abbey. Into turn 2. Having to shift down there, Ned. Just to keep the revs up. Swaggy and Leo side by side. Leo comes out on top in that scenario. But a bit of a wiggle there. A bit of a wiggle there for Ford as well. At the exit of turn 4. Through Brooklands. Through Luffield. Gap is 3/10 of a second, and that's going to increase. With Swaggy running wide there at the exit of turn 7. Be a bit frustrated with that, I'm sure. And something has happened. One Slick Mofo is out of the race. He's crashed out. There is his car in the barrier on the inside, and a virtual safety car has been deployed. Seen that a few times over the course of this event. That is now retirement number 5, meaning we have 15 cars left. So everyone who finishes from here on out will score something. DRS is re-enabled. We're back on the green flag racing. And Spilly opened up a bit of a margin over Crichton. Unfortunately for him though, Zach is still within DRS range. Closes in. Ned closing in into Brooklands. Can't attack though. Exiting Luffield. Through Woodcote. Onto the old pit straight. Gap is less than 3/10. And Cops. Surely Ned will try and get past now. I reckon he's got a run. He's got plenty of ERS as well. That's about 90% or so. I can't get the run out of Chapel though. Oh, but he's closing in quite a bit here. What does Plebs do? He defends hard. Into Stowe. Round the outside. He keeps it there. He's through into third. And here comes Leo on the attack. Around the outside of Plebs. Can't get it done though. But Ned, after all this time, he's finally through. He's into third. through Abbey. Turn 2. And into Village. Odds Formula setting a fastest lap at 27.5. Showing the pace he has. Don't think Plebs will be able to challenge Ned. Let's have a look. Users overtaken DRS. He's closing in. He is going to challenge. Into Brooklands down the inside. They're side by side. And he pushes him off just a little bit. Bit of gamesmanship there. And Plebs back into third. Leo on the attack. Right on the gearbox of the Alpine. So is Swaggy. He's right on the gearbox of the Williams. Through Cop's Corner. Now Maggots. Beckett's. So close. Bit of understeer there from Leo. A lot of understeer from Swaggy. Apparently Alfa Romeo have a lawn mowing business. My goodness. Crichton and Spelly battling for position. Better keep an eye on these two. Same with this lot. Plebs still hanging on to third. Ned looking left and right to try and find a way past. Is unable to do so. The leaders cross the line. We have 5 laps to go. 3/10 separate the top two. Then it's 3.5 seconds to the final podium spot in third. And it's more or less a 5-car fight from Plebs down to Ford. Unfortunately for Swaggy and Fordy, they both have penalties next to their name. So it's going to be difficult for them to succeed. Swaggy, Fordy, contact. Ford, PC, Ned spins out! My goodness, did he and Leo come together? Or did he lose it by himself? Regardless, he is plummeting down the order. He was certainly going to get a top 5. Now he's going to struggle to stay in the top 10. In fact, he's just 10th behind Oz Formula. That's given Plebs a bit of breathing room. Gap is almost a second between P3 and 4. It's definitely not a second between P1 and 2. About half a second as they come onto the hangar straight for the 22nd time. Uses DRS to close in. Doesn't use any battery because, well, to put it simply, he doesn't have any. He's in single digits almost. In fact, no, he's in the teens now. He's got so little battery, Crichton, he can't really mount an assault. Spilly, though, has a little bit in his back pocket. We'll get the telemetry up, have a look at this more accurately. 28% compared to Crichton's 14 at that very moment. This is going to be quite the tussle towards the end of the race. Heading towards Aintree. Onto the Wellington Straight. Not using any battery. Just using DRS to close in. Whoa, very deep under brakes. Spilly a bit wide. Swaggy and 4D battling for position again. Swaggy back into 5th place. Leo on the gearbox of the McLaren of Plebs. Gap increases quite a bit there, actually. So Leo must have made a mistake there at the exit of Luffield, just to open up that gap. Through Chapel. Half a second. Swaggy gets a penalty, another one next to his name. He has now got 9 seconds. Ford has 3. Ned has 3. Oz Formula still has 5. Jamie has 6. Lucky Rex has 12 seconds next to his name. Through Vale. Oh, Plebs and Leo very close together on track 2. Ned has just made up a position. He's into P8. Overtaking Scotty, who's in the top 10. Fairly nice debut for the AlphaTauri driver as Swaggy is on the assault. He's into P4. He's now going to try and challenge Plebs. As, oh, Spilly, wide there at turn 4, and Crichton is through. And he doesn't have any DRS to try and attack into Brooklands. Through turn 7. Heading towards the old pit straight. Spilly closing in a lot, my goodness. Through Cops. Crichton is going to defend hard here. Going to have to defend hard here. A bit of understeer there. Not that Spilly minds too much. He's got DRS and a lot of battery to use. He's through. Retakes the lead. Through Stowe they go. Plebs has made a mistake. He is out. Actually, no. Surely he hasn't made a mistake. He's crashed basically 3/4 of the way down the hangar straight. He must have been turned into the wall, surely. From there. But he's out. Unbelievably. Swaggy into 3rd place. We've got 2 laps left in this British Grand Prix. And quite the intense battle at the front of the field. Through Aintree, using DRS again to close in on Spilly. Into Brooklands. Both drivers, I imagine, are going to be right on the edge here. They're going to give it everything they've got in order to try and win. Oh, and something has happened. Is that Swaggy? No, it's James. He's spun out into the infield. He drops to P9. Still in the top 10 though. Jamie getting a new front wing, I believe. Actually, no, he's just pitting for soft tyres to set fastest lap, isn't it? Fair enough. Here comes Crichton. Round the outside here at Stowe. They're side by side, but Crichton's out in front. He takes the lead. Towards the Vale chicane. Spilly dives for it. He goes. And he spins out. He and Crichton made contact. And here comes Leo to come through to take 2nd place. Swaggy into 3rd. Spilly tumbling down the order. But a desperate move there from the Aston Martin to send it down the inside at Vale to try and retake the lead, and he's plummeted to 5th. He still might claim a podium out of this. There's 40 cops at 5 seconds for ignoring yellow flags. Spilly still might finish 3rd here. Oh, we were spoiled of a great final lap though, between the 2 leaders. And here comes Ned. He's alongside to overtake Oz Formula. Into P6 he goes. I was really looking forward to the battle between Spilly and Crichton, but Spilly pulling the trigger early. A big dive bomb into the chicane. Contact between the 2. And Spilly getting the short end of the stick, plummeting to 5th. But I still believe he'll be finishing on the podium. With only a few corners remaining, G-Force Crichton will start this season as he left it back in Season 4. It will be victory for the defending champion. He'll take the checkered flag and win the British Grand Prix. Leo will cross the line in 2nd place. He'll be happy with that. And Spilly promoted up to 3rd due to penalties. Swaggy in 4th, Ford in P5. Scotty up to P4. Hello. I sense a driver of the day incoming for him. Let's have a look here. Up 13 positions. It's either him or Leo. I reckon the game will give it to Leo. Why? Only because he finished on the podium. But what a drive from both of them, making up so many places over the course of the race. Swaggy in P5, Ford P6, Ned 7th, Oz Formula in 8th, James in 9th, Wogboy in P10, Bags Liddell in P11, Macedonian in 12th, Blocky Rex in 13th. Jamie trying to crack fastest lap if he can get it. Have a look here. Needs to beat a 27 flat. Keep an eye on that timer. Through the chicane, 21, 22, 23, 24. He should get this. He does, I believe. Claims that final point. Well, there we are. That was certainly some race. Lot of drama over the course of that one. Be GeForce Crichton taking the win. Leo in a superb third, and a very hard fought effort from Spilly. In the end, it will be third place for him. But a very interesting race indeed. A lot of incidents over the course of this one. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few incident reports by the end of this. There we are. Those were the final results, and Jamie did claim fastest lap with a 26.7. So he'll take that. Plebs. Because it's not a place where you crash 3/4 down the hangar straight. Yeah, he definitely got collected by someone. One Slick Mofo, Volts, missed him out. Spicy and Izzat, all the retirements. Volts voluntarily retired. Spicy had a very interesting moment that brought out... Was that the first safety car I believe it brought out? My goodness. Ah, that was certainly a race, that's for sure. And from what I've seen, it's sort of this ongoing trend with F1 2021 that there's a lot more drama and crashes compared to previous F1 games, and this was definitely the case here at Silverstone. A lot of moments over the course of this. Right, we'll quickly leave the session because just prior to the race, Plebs asked me if I could do podium interviews, so it seems only reasonable that I do them. It'll be interesting to hear what the drivers say if they do show up. They don't have to. They're not forced to show up. But if they do, it'll be very interesting to hear what they have to say. But I'll just be back. It will only take me a couple of minutes to invite everyone. But I will be back. I'll see if Spilly is available. Let's see here. Mr. Crichton, how are you? Not too bad. Just give it a moment. I'm just inviting everybody. Some race on your end? Oh. Well, it certainly sounds like you two had a hell of a time. So interviews should be good.
Yeah. I look behind. Yeah.
Rightio,
Yeah,
fellas.
I made sure I left it the tiniest. Yeah.
We'll start off the interviews. It's good to hear that you two are in a happy mood, especially what happened at the end of the race, because that was one hell of a battle you two had. I'll tell you what, we'll start off with you, Spilly, because that was one hell of an effort tonight.
Oh no.
Like, first of all, pole position. Congrats.
That was a surprise.
That was pretty cool. Granted, you had a lot of help from your teammate G-Force 4, but
Oh
that
yeah,
massive toe.
he gave me 2 10s there.
Oh, mate. But you must be pretty pleased with your performance overall.
Yeah, I was happy. My mindset was I go for the win, or I regret not trying it later. But or I risk finishing third because I knew people behind me had penalties.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting third. But it's alright. It's only 3 points.
I'll tell you what, take us through your race here at Silverstone. How was it for you?
Well, I'm not used to being at the front, so I was nervous the first 5 minutes. I'm like, I gotta keep this bloke behind me or else I'm done. And then he got past me, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm the same pace as him. And I got real confused for a second, and all of a sudden the nerves just like kicked off, like it went off. And then the last 5 laps, they kicked in again. I'm like, wait, I'm in the lead, there's 5 laps left.
Oh no,
What's
there's
going
5
on?
laps left. Oh god. Oh, but take us through that incident right at the end, and how much of it is Zach's fault?
5%.
Oh, okay. At least you're being honest. There you go. But it was a big send. Had to go for it. It was towards the end of the race. Had to go for it. But no. But are you satisfied? I imagine you sound shocked.
I seem pretty happy. Yeah.
You seem shocked more than everything.
I didn't have a podium last season at all, so.
And you were this close away from winning this time round here at Silverstone.
I know, it was a surprise, but hopefully Crichton misses a race or two, and
get
maybe
those
I
big
can
points.
get that win back.
Them big points. Well, next round is at Spain. That a good track for you?
Well, Britain's probably my best, so
Okay.
I think I've used up all my skill.
Nah, I'm sure there's some...
I'm alright at Spain, but hopefully I can get pole at Spain, because then you can't overtake there. So
It's tough to pass. That's true.
yeah.
But mate, congrats with the podium. And great battle between you and Zach that time as well. It was really nice to watch. So congrats on the P3, man.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
And I did invite Leo, but I don't think he'll be joining us. But that's okay. He ended up finishing in second place. So we'll move to you, Mr. Crichton. Not a bad way to start your season. Not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. It's quite different to how my first race usually goes. I tend to have a bad one, so I'll take a P1, and yeah, it's really good.
Now, how about taking us through qualifying in the race? Now, you qualified 4th, if I remember.
Yep.
Did qualifying go well for you? Or was there more left on the table?
I was actually quite surprised how close I was, because I haven't really touched the game for the last 3 weeks. I was like, I'll try and get a top 5, top 6 in quali. And then to come away with I guess a P4. I was like, yeah, we can probably fight from here. And then just try and get Mount on lap 1, which we managed to do, I think, from memory. But yeah, I was quite happy with P4 on quali.
Now, that battle you had with Spilly, how was it for you?
Yeah, that was really fun. Like, it's been a while since I've had a nice clean battle like that. So, and I'd say racing here at Silverstone, it just always promotes awesome racing. As we've seen in the past here with Giannis, Bailey, and myself, we've had some awesome battles here. So, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, yeah.
I commentated that. That was absolutely nuts. How close that was.
Yeah, we've had a few crazy races here in the past, so I thought it was going to be really close. I'm surprised that there was, I guess, only 2 of us left at the front. I thought there might have been Bailey or maybe Kush if he didn't crash, but yeah.
But in the end, are you satisfied with your own performance?
Very satisfied, Smeg. I'll take P1, that's for sure.
Did you
move on to
practice?
Spain? Not really. I did 3 laps before quali.
He's a freak, Spilly.
Oh.
That's the only way we can put it. He's just a freak.
I had like 2 weeks off, like I didn't do anything, and then yesterday, I'm like, okay. Oh, I found out the race was Tuesday, 2 days ago. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, really? Yeah, this game's very different. I found I was spinning out quite a lot. I was like, oh, I don't really enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll take a break, see if they change it. But yeah, very happy to come back and come here with a win.
I thought there was meant to be a performance update.
Yeah.
Or has that already happened? Like,
With the
Not that I
107
know of.
update, I don't think there was anything performance-wise. They're just
Nah,
sort of fixing
there wasn't.
bugs and whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
Still more bugs to fix.
But
Stuff.
I have-
Like even now, there's dots on the tires.
Yeah, I saw
on the
that.
left tire.
Yeah. Yeah, on the front tires. Yeah, it's weird.
I noticed that during career mode, just these random dots appearing on the tyre, as if you were running over rubble or something on the racetrack.
But
it was very
it just
strange.
doesn't look very accurate.
No.
Unfortunately.
But, oh well. Hopefully Codemasters will rectify all these little issues and hopefully we have a nice smooth game. Luckily we didn't have a lobby break. That's positive.
I know that's the first. We tend to get those, don't we?
We tend to, yeah, the game tends to, I want to use colourful language, but I won't.
Throw a few curveballs at us.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Zach. A lot less colourful than what I was thinking for a moment. But thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here. It sounds like you two had a hell of a time out there, so I hope to see you next week at Barcelona.
Sure will.
All good. I'll be
All good,
back in
thanks, Meg.
I'll be back from 5th to 10th. That's my range.
Right.
I'll go chill there.
Nah, you're at the front. I have a feeling.
You're top 3 material now, man. You're going to be fine for. Yeah,
Now I've got high standards now. Usually first race of the season I'm like 9th every year, every game, but
different now.
different.
No, but well done, fellas, and again, thank you very much for joining me here. And I think it's about time to wrap everything up. A very interesting first round at Silverstone. A lot of drama, a lot of people crashing, a lot of people retiring, which is, I don't know. It was interesting to watch, but I don't know if that's a good thing, to be honest, to see the amount of crashes we have.
Seeing Izza spin was a bit weird. I'm like, what?
Yeah, a few people had some.
Yeah, that's
iffy
kind.
spins.
Yeah, I'll take that. It's kind of
And
karma
then-
because he said I was washed up. So
And then-
call me
A
washed
little
up.
bit of karma.
Yeah.
Blocky spun as well. Blocky.
Yeah, turn 1, entry turn 2.
Yeah.
I saw that. There was an interesting moment between Mr. Mount and Swaggy, those two coming together at the Vale chicane. Plevs had some sort of incident on the Hangar Straight. They retired.
He's not happy.
I imagine he wouldn't be, because if you crash 3/4 down a straight, I don't imagine it's your fault.
Moving under braking, maybe, or
It could be. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see with the incident reports, which
Yeah,
I'm going to
I think
assume
there
there's
could be a
going
few
to be
spicy
few.
ones. Yeah, I think there's going to be a few spicy ones there, I reckon.
And I imagine we're going to be seeing a few spicy ones next week as well at Spain, because there are
Oh, yep.
several areas there in this game now where you can have some big accidents. And there's also a
Have
weird
they-
bump at turn 1, just off the racing line. That
have they updated the track? Or
no,
No, they
the
haven't.
other-
Not that I
think-
they don't even have to do anything. They just got to change the
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Like it's there already.
it's there already. That's all they need to do.
Can't be that hard.
Go that way, don't go this way. Very simple.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm guessing we're going to have to wait a while for the track stuff to come through. Like, we've still got Abu Dhabi to see as well when that gets
They're
done.
gonna release
Ah,
some.
Derby, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
gonna release some like DLCs or something.
Yeah,
throughout the
I
year.
hope they're not paid though. I pray they're not paid. But anyway. I think with the race finally over and the podium interviews finally over, time to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week though. There's still plenty of racing to take place here at Race Spec Esports. But for Pacific Tier 1, we'll have to wait until next week. Until next time, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 2 at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Until then, good night.